the I don't know how you say this. Aoetree mini pruning chainsaw. Gear stripped. Barely got to use it. I bet I tightened the chain 3 or 4 times. And so this is what I've come to the conclusion of. The little gear. I marked it to see how many teeth on, but you see the little teeth stripped out in a few places. The little one on here, it did not strip out, but it got a little damage from little bits of the teeth that got spun around in there. But here's what I believe went wrong. I took this apart. Everything's shiny in the camera, but there was absolutely no grease on these teeth. And I don't mean the grease flew off. I mean there was nothing ever down inside, the little teeth on this gear or this gear. There's a little bit of grease smeared around right here on this edge. And I don't think the gear ever touched it. And I believe that's what happened. So I'm going to try and get a gear from China. Hopefully I'll get the right one. They do sell one that looks the same. Got to wait for it. But I think if you grease it up, and if you've got one of these already, right here, that little hole, that little square hole right there, if you flip this over, that's where your adjustment thing is for your chain. And if you've got one of those little needle grease gun thingies, you could stick it right down in that hole. Of course, I can't do it. I've only got 2 hands, but if you move that screw around a little bit, you'll see that little hole. You could easily get a little needle down in there, and you could pump some grease into this cavity where these gears are, and that'd be great. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And if I can get a gear, I think it's savable. I really like this saw. I had another one of these from a different brand. It had bushings, where this one has bearings and a brushless motor, and it feels really good. It's got bearings in places, of course, but anyway, bearings. It's got bearings, and in places my last one didn't have bearings. So yeah, I have a little faith that this one might last. I don't know. But that's what went wrong with it. If anybody's got one of these and you haven't got a stripped gear yet, I would sure see about making sure there's some grease in there. Or at least it's real easy to pull apart. You take all the screws off, and the one side just pops off. There's no wires attached or anything. It just pops off, and then you've got everything just laying here for you to, to grease up and everything. So I hope that helps somebody. I should have took it apart when I got it. I was to make sure, maybe maybe it had bushings and they needed grease or whatever, and I didn't. I just got busy and needed to work with it, and that was a mistake. So now I've got to either fix it or junk it. Good times.